Emperor launched an attack against Duke Sileria. Both the Khan and the Queen believed the Duke wouldn't be able to withstand it, while the two powerful opponents fought each other, inevitably weakening each other. The Queen, leading the rebels, seized the opportunity while the main imperial forces were occupied with the Duke and captured a territory from the Empire. Meanwhile, the Khan, capitalizing on the imperial forces overextending themselves on the island, captured 3 territories, including 2 on the mainland and 1 on the island itself. The Emperor, caught off guard by these surprise attacks, urgently ordered his troops to withdraw from the island to deal with the rebels. His forces successfully recaptured the Empire's former money bag, the large northeastern gold mine, enriching the Empire's research into necromancy and war coffers. After expelling the imperial forces from his island, the Duke turned his forces towards the tribal strongholds that had taken advantage of the situation on the island and quickly drove the tribes back into the sea. Following the loss of the mining region to the Empire, the rebels chose to push westward and capture another territory. This secured their base areas by linking them together and gave them firm control over several crucial passes into the northern territories. The necromantic legions of the Empire were constrained by pressures from other directions and temporarily unable to dislodge the rebels. In the northwest of the Empire, the Duke's main force didn't attack Westport directly but instead established a foothold just north of it. Strategically isolated, the rebels decided to advance westward to link up with Duke Sileria's forces. However, the wizards of the Frostveil cult within the rebel ranks distrusted Sileria. They opposed the Empire but also viewed Sileria unfavorably, leading to internal indecision between war and peace within their army. Regardless, their strategic direction remained westward against the Empire. When the rebel and imperial armies clashed, the Duke's newly arrived forces became the focal point. To the dismay, though not surprise, of the wizards, the Duke did indeed attack the rebels. Shockingly, he was powerful enough to crush Xinghao, the imperial forces, and the rebels in one fell swoop. This deep betrayal ignited fierce hatred among the rebels towards the duchy, making them staunchly war-hard towards Sileria in the south. The Khanate, having profited earlier, persistently harassed areas south of Westport, threatening the port city. The Empire resolved to deal with them, advancing south to defeat the tribal forces and capture territory. The duchy's eastern campaign proved a major victory. Their sole objective from the start was capturing Westport. Possession of Westport would ensure they could never be pushed back into the sea and would pose a constant threat to the capital. The Eastern Army's victory successfully severed the Empire's land route between the capital and Westport. The situation in Westport grew increasingly desperate as the capital could offer no support. The Emperor urgently ordered troops stationed in the newly conquered southern region to reinforce Westport. However, remnants of the scattered tribal army regrouped and, following the reinforcing imperial force, ambushed and destroyed them en route. They seized multiple positions south of Westport and entered the contest for the port city. Westport was a fortress city, adjacent to the capital, connecting north to the duchy and south to the Khanate. It was a strategic point, easily defensible and a springboard for attack. Losing it meant ruin for the Empire, capturing it meant dominance for the Khanate, and holding it made the duchy unassailable. All 3 powers threw everything they had into the fight. Ultimately, the duchy prevailed. Meanwhile, learning of the Empire's series of defeats at the hands of the Duke, the rebels decided to avoid Sileria's direct power. Exploiting the struggle between these giants, they launched a surprise attack southward to seize the Empire-controlled mining regions. This solved the rebels' chronic funding problems. After securing Westport, the duchy formally settled accounts with the Khanate. Striking south from Westport, they routed the tribes, reclaiming the promised land for the duchy. The Duke then set his sights on the imperial capital itself. While the Empire's northern mines had been attacked, they lacked the strength to retaliate against the rebels. Seizing the moment, the rebels launched a full-scale counteroffensive, opening fronts simultaneously at the northern hub and the northeast territories. The northeast territories fell quickly. The northern hub, defended by powerful imperial forces under Necromancer command, became a grinding stalemate. Unexpectedly, Duke Sileria's forces intervened, breaking the deadlock. With victories mounting in the north, the rebellion swelled in power and numbers. Bolstered by the immense wealth from the captured mines, the Frostveil cult's military power reached its peak. The Queen and the cult elders decided to assault the imperial capital. But first, they needed to defeat the Duchy of Sileria. The northern hub became the site of a decisive battle, located south of the capital. With routes west to the duchy, northeast to the Frostveil strongholds, and critical roads converging, it was a strategic center. The Empire pulled its forces back towards the capital for a defensive stand. The Duke and the Queen committed their main armies to this epic clash. Ultimately, the duchy emerged victorious. The cult was forced to retreat northward to the Frostveil. Simultaneously, on the Empire's southern border, imperial forces mercilessly attacked the fleeing remnants of the Khanate, beating a drowning dog, driving them off the mainland entirely, gathering masses of corpses from the battlefield. The Empire employed necromancy to raise an undead army to reinforce the capital. The final battle began. The duchy's Westport army and northern hub army approached the capital from the northwest and southwest respectively, to counter the Empire's elite undead legions. The Duke deployed the duchy's finest legions and elite, hand-picked champion knights. After a grim struggle, the duchy finally achieved a hard-won victory, led by the new emperor, a new era dawned.